Hey everybody, Jillian here. I've got a brand new Bible journaling process video for you today, and it is special because I'm going to be using the brand new Illustrating Bible or newly redesigned Illustrating Bible from DaySpring. So one of the changes to the Illustrating Bible is the packaging. It still comes in a keepsake box, but it looks a little different from the last one. It's a nice and sturdy box that holds this beautiful new Bible. So let's talk quickly about some of the changes to the Bible, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the process video, which I'm going to do in this Bible. Alright, so it comes in this box and you have some specs here. It tells you the translations, Christian Standard, and then on the back side you get a little more information. So the dimensions, faux leather cover with foil detailing, and I'll show you all this instead of just reading it to you because that's boring. So I'm hoping you can see the color on camera here. It's this really pretty deep greenish blue color with some gold foiling. Is that gold? Yeah, gold foiling on the cover. And then on the inside there are a couple changes you'll notice immediately. There is a place for you to put your name. It says this Bible belongs to, and then you still have the suede on the inside cover. In the beginning God created. The suede is like this blush color now. And then the last page is very similar, so that like blush colored suede, and then the end of the book of Revelation there. So those are different. Something else that's different that I like is the page or the chapter titles. So let's go to a longer book so you can see the difference. So you still have the name of the book of the Bible on the first page of that book, and it's a little bit smaller. So in the original Illustrating Bible, it was in this really cool scripted font, and now it's in a cleaner sans serif font, and it's a smidge smaller than before. So those, I'm pretty sure, are the only changes to this. You still have the nice white pages that are thicker than normal Bible pages. They take art mediums better. 3 3/4 margins that are in, let's say, First Chronicles here. So yeah, that's a look at the newly redesigned Illustrating Bible. It's available for pre-order today. That's why I'm using this Bible today for my process video. I just wanted to give you a quick peek at some of the changes and let you know that it's available. So if you want to pre-order it today, I've got an affiliate link down in the video description, which is the box below this video. Same price, $99.99, same translation, Christian Standard like I mentioned, same font size, so the text is the exact same size as the original Illustrating Bible. I'm trying to think of the FAQs I've seen lately. I think those are it. DaySpring did send this Bible to me to share with you guys, and I'm super appreciative to them for that, for letting me share with you guys. Anyway, alright, let me get my stuff together and then we'll go ahead and jump into this process video. Okay, so one of my favorite ways to use the Illustrating Bible is to put sermon notes in them. And so I have notes from a few weeks ago that I'm going to transfer over into the margin here. Now, I have in the past fit both the front and back side of my notes, and this week even went over here. I have been able to fit all of this in the margin. I'm not going to do that today. I really just want to stick to like the top half of the page. And so I'm really only going to journal like this section down here. So I'm in Luke 12, the parable of the rich fool, because this week we talked about greed. And so what I think I'm going to use today is an assortment of things. I just pulled random things, new, old, whatever. And I want to do something not just like stickers and stamping on my page. So I am going to use my new favorite color, Neo Color 2 Water Soluble Wax Pastel. This is in Sky Blue. I've got an Echo Park stencil that I've used before. I've even used it before journaling sermon notes from this series. And then I've got an old piece of patterned paper that's beautiful. You can see it's well loved. I loved using this. From Illustrated Faith's All People, All Nations collection. And then a sticker sheet from Echo Park. Oh, cool. Because I loved these alpha stickers, and they remind me of my favorite October Afternoon alpha stickers, which are no longer available, but these are a pretty close match for those. So, and then I'll pull in some finishing touches here and there. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut out my heart. I want to use a heart for this page. And I want to cut it out of this beautiful painterly type paper. Okay, so I thought I'd speed this up and switch to voiceover mode so that it's not a 45-minute long chatty video. I'm not sure that you guys would be into that. I prefer to watch things shorter, and so I want to make for you what I want to watch, right? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and use a mechanical pencil to sketch a wonky heart out of this patterned paper. I drew one way too large, so I'm just going to erase my lines and then try again. That looks much better. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that guy cut out. And there we are. So it's going to fit nicely up in the top right corner there. Then I am going to put the stencil down on my page. So I've got my Bible mat here. Then I'm just going to orient horizontally so that it can fit under the top half of the page. On the Illustrated Faith channel, it's so funny to watch my hands move while I'm talking. On the Illustrated Faith channel several weeks ago, I shared a video about using Neocolors with a baby wipe and how it's a great way to get pigment on the page, almost as if you were using like Distress ink and an ink blending tool. What's really cool is these don't bleed through the paper when you try this technique. I thought, hey, let's try it through this stencil. And what I'm talking about here so enthusiastically with my hands is that I want to really control the moisture and not put too much through the stencil, or otherwise it'll look like this. This is probably too intricate of a stencil to try with this technique. So I'm just going to dab a little bit lighter and try to get less moisture from the stamp onto the underneath the stencil onto my page. I'm realizing here that I really don't like this color blue with the supplies that I'm planning on using. So I'm going to go ahead and see what a few other Neocolor crayons look like. And I'm going to go through about 4 or 5 of them. I'll leave it in because they're so beautiful. But yeah, I'm just like swatching them on the edge of my baby wipe here. I'm like, okay, that one is turquoise green. That's a pretty good match. But then I thought, well, I don't want it just to be super green. Let's go with something a little more high contrast. So I pulled up the purple color. It's too purple. And then I decided, all right, let's try salmon. Nope, not good. Let's try rose. I think that's what this color is. Too pink. Let's go with this, like a yellow color. So I'm going to pull out the ochre Neocolor, and I decide in the end to use this one. Whew! I gotta shave it down a little bit so I can get some better pigment off of it, so I'm just gonna go grab a pencil sharpener. I'm showing you here that I keep the dozen or so Neocolors that I have in a little jar that used to have pimentos in them, and I'm informing you here that I buy them a la carte from Blick. Alright, now that I got this pencil, this crayon shaved down, it's going to transfer color onto the wipe a little bit better. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, how am I going to cover up this sky blue heart that is at the top of my page? So here I'm just very lightly pouncing the wipe on top of the stencil, and you can see I did a better job. I did a better job controlling the moisture. So I'm just going to put these hearts around the top of the page and then coming down about halfway down my Bible page and like going off the edge too. Best one yet. So it doesn't end up coming out perfectly, which is fine. I layer a bunch of other stuff on top of here. This is really just a background element. Alright, so I've got my heart here now, and I'm trying to figure out its placement. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can cover this sky blue heart, but I really don't want to put it there based on where I want my journaling to start, so I'm just going to put it over here towards the right, deal with that blue heart, sky blue heart, a little bit later. So go ahead and stick this guy down. Erase that little bit of line. And then use some of these alpha stickers. The title that I'm spelling out is A Heart Issue, and so I really only need the 2 words because the heart is for the word heart. And I like these alphas, they're fun because each letter is a different color. Fortunately, the letters that I wanted to use were all in colors that I wanted to use. I like to mix up fonts. Shauna Noel totally got me hooked on this look, so I'm going to use just another brand of alphabet stickers to kind of mix things up a little bit. I like to line up alphas on top of my Bible mat, so I have an idea of where they'll look best without committing to a place and then like having to pick them up and put them back down and over again, so that's handy. The E kind of gets lost on the heart a little bit. In person, it's fine. On camera, it looks more lost than in person. So I'm like, what can I use here to cover up this heart? I've got some paper pieces. I'm tapping my fingers so you know that the gears are turning. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first part of my journaling, just noting here from my sermon notes, pulling out a direct quote where my pastor said, greed is not a financial issue, it's, and then the title fills it in there, a heart issue. And then again, continuing on with another quote, writing, greed hoards, generosity hands out. So like I said, we were in Luke 12 for this sermon, the parable of the rich fool. Well, I'm getting highlighter tape, highlighter washi tape to outline that block, that passage. I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. Jesus replied, watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. This starts in verse 15. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God. So the next part of my journaling will talk about what it means to be rich toward God. I'm just really struggling here with this highlighter washi. Like, do I add this? Do I keep it? I don't know what looks best. I decided to not put that second piece of yellow tape down because the washi tape was becoming the focal point, and I really wanted the heart in the title to be the focal point of the page. Now I've got a couple of like bullet points that I want to put on the page. I thought about using these homespun like navy blue stickers, but instead decided to just go ahead and use stickers from that Echo Park sticker sheet. And then I'm underlining the passage where it talks about being rich toward God, adding a little more journaling there. And my first point says, be generous to those God loves. Basically, others. I'll go ahead and put number 2 down. I like to stagger them a little bit. And the second way to be rich toward God is to give to God. So I've got a little bit of white space there left to play around with, so you'll see how I add some finishing touches here. I'm going to use some bits from the Fruit of the Spirit cardstock sticker sheets, and this is really where I feel like the page started to improve. To be honest with you, I wasn't loving it before I started putting these finishing touches down. So I've got some black crisscross washi tape that I'm going to layer over that sky blue heart, and then take a little bit of this border strip, layer that on top, and here's where it gets good. Well, as soon as I layer these tone-on-tone stickers, my feelings totally change about the page. I put that other piece of cross washi tape under there and then layer those 2 stickers the same way. And just the contrast with the teal and the navy and the light pink and the bright pink really makes me happy. I'm going to add one more hot pink element, another heart here, layered on top of this heart. And then I'm going to go ahead and get a tab punched out. So I'm going back to this really fun patterned paper, and I'm just going to put my We Are Memory Keepers tab punch over the paper, see what looks good in that little preview window, and then punch away. I end up choosing this third one. I thought the contrast would be best with the white word fetty that I plan on using, so I'm going to go ahead and get that down with my tape runner, reinforce this border piece with a little more tape, layer that over the tab, and then use this piece of word fetty. It spells out the phrase "give it to God," but I just trimmed off everything but the word "give." And then I'm going to add this really fun bow clip from my friend Christine's Etsy shop. I've been really loving these big, bold, beautiful bows. I'll link her shop down in the video description below. She sells them in like sets of 5. They're super cute. And then I want to add some stamp art marks, and so I'm swatching some ink here. I end up using this aqua color Versa Magic chalk ink, but I'm like, I think there's even a better match. So I pulled out a couple of older Illustrated Faith pigment inks and swatched them on my sermon notebook. This one ended up being too green, but this lighter pink is a great match. That lighter pink is from the Created to Create starter kit, and then I'm using the Mark Maker stamp set from Illustrated Faith to get some stamps down. Now my video is going to get cut off here at the end, and I'm just stamping, and you guys have seen me do that before. I'm going to leave you with a few final images of my page here, but that's really going to do it for me. If you guys have any questions about the newly redesigned Illustrating Bible, I'd be happy to answer them for you. Leave them down in the comments below. You can see these pages are so much thicker than a normal journaling Bible, and that is part of what makes this Bible so special. It is tailored to us Bible journalers. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.